I wanna dance by water beneath the Mexican sky, drink some margaritas by swinging blue lights, listen to the mariachi play at midnight. Are you with me? Are you with me?
You ready to go? Okay. This will be quite short. I wanted to hopefully form some discussions and we can share some ideas as well. But I present on basic formations for attack. So serve reception into attack. It's pretty straightforward. I have some slides. I have some videos, and I have some PDF which I'll try and share with you guys. So if you have pen drive or if we email it to you, then you can make sure that you have access to it. Again, some of the stuff I take comes from America, and some of the stuff Simon showed me yesterday's mini volleyball from Italy and stuff like that. So some different ideas. And again, if you have questions or any comments, please, and we can talk about it, because I think the exchange of ideas is good. Okay. So it's big enough. Okay, so basically different formations. We have mini volleyball through to 6 versus 6, and for me, and again talking with Ibrahim, we talk about, as an introduction to volleyball, we play 1 versus 1. We have lots of opportunity to contact the ball, lots of repetitions, but from a formation situation, there's no requirement. It's 1 person versus 1 person, so there's no tactics, no communication. It's just you play and you get used to the net, the court dimensions, and get lots of repetitions. But there is 0 decision making, because you always have to play the ball. There's no one else, yeah? Okay, then we move to level 2v2, where there's an opportunity to introduce some teamwork and some communication. And the decision making obviously increases, because you have to decide, is it my ball, is it my partner's ball? And what formation do you want to do? Do you want to do side by side, or do you want to do front and back? So this is very basic, very easy, and a good introduction for, and like yesterday's practice, where I like decision making, I like people to have to think. This is, I would not stay in this level too long. Maybe some throw and catch, get used to dimensions and introduce some rules, but we want to get more players quicker, so as we have more decisions and better communication, because ultimately we want people that can play 6 versus 6. Yeah. And then moving on, 3 versus 3, this perhaps is an opportunity to introduce some specialization, where we have maybe somebody is always going to set, and then you can make the decision, is it going to be 1 blocker, 2 defenders, 2 blockers, 1 defender? Are we going to introduce rotations? So this is all considerations that you may want to introduce at 3 versus 3 level. Okay, but still very rudimentary. You understand, basic. Okay, and then we move on to 4 versus 4, where we can then start to think more about rotation, specialization, and then offensive pattern. Do you maybe introduce a middle attack? Do we introduce the width of the net, so left, right, middle? And we have much more options, but again, this is kind of exponential. It gets more and more and more very quick in terms of communication, decision making, and then the system side of things. So okay, so incredibly basic gets to become more complex. It's very straightforward, yes. Okay, for you guys, you've been quiet all day, so we can talk. Moving on to 6 versus 6, any ideas or for versions of 6 versus 6? So again, formations. Do you, the way you line up, I give you 1, 5-1, 5 players, 1 setter, yes, okay, so I give you 1. 6-0, what does this mean? No, we talk about 6-0. What do you mean? Everyone plays everywhere. Okay, so no specialization. Very good. Okay, 4-2. 4-2. Two setters, and predominantly the setter will be front line. Front line. 4-2, the setter is front line, and you have two attack. The other option is 6-2, where the setter is back line. Okay, and you have three attack. Okay, for a long time, the Cuban women, they run 6-2. I haven't seen them play for a couple of years, but certainly 2008, 9, 10, they were still playing 6-2 because the opposite happened to be a good setter as well. So this was a good option. Are there any others that you have heard of or seen?
3-3 also.
3-3. Do you want to explain?
Yes, the three setters are in the triangles and in two positions. When our back court, they set the balls, play like the setters.
Okay. Do you understand this? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
In a triangle are three setters.
Okay, good. Is there any more?
And I think also that the system 4-2 is better when the setters set the balls in three positions when they are back court, because we have more possibilities for offensive attack. 4-2. We are talking about 4-2.
So 4-2, you prefer the setter still sets?
Yes, when they are in the second line.
Okay.
Not because I think that you said that the setters set when they are on the first line.
Okay.
I think
But this is the 6-2.
no, 4-2.
Talking about 6-2, same, but with the setter in the back line.
Pa ne, okej, ali ja sam ne razumio da je rekao da je u 4-2 dizač kad je na Čekaj.
Okay, so, but this is the beauty of volleyball. Yes, we have different ideas and different ways of doing things. I think the version I show, instead of the 3-3, will be a 6-3. But I think it is the same thing, and it's just terminology. So, okay, so you see, we've gone from very basic, very simple, okay, to quite complex and lots of variations, okay. Okay, so these are I think, I hope, and we can have the discussion, the 6-3 is the same as the 3-3, okay, and okay, this seems to be standard, especially in the men's game. Most teams around the world now for men play this formation. No. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, this is why I put this in. Okay, most people 5-1, and this is not used very much. Okay, it used to be the Russian team, the Russian women used this for a while, but standard is that these switch. Okay, so I can draw just. It's setter in one, opposite, outside. Okay, so setter, opposite, outsides and middles. Yeah, this is standard. This is very rare, and I know the Russian women use this maybe 2008, 2009, round about this time. Okay, so again, even though it's 5-1, there is an opportunity to make some adjustment. Okay, when we get into this situation of a complex situation, lots of players, there are some considerations you have to make for your lineup. Okay, and these are some of the things that, as a coach, you have to maybe consider. Okay, do you want to have just any 6 people on court, or do you need to take into account what situation the game is? okay? How the people interact within them to be able to act out the skills. What is the internal dynamic? What is the relationship within the team at any given time? And then, much like Ibrahim was talking about, there are different psychological, intellectual, coordinative, fitness. All these abilities have to come together to make the team function. Okay, so these are some considerations. Okay, from the game against France Montenegro, it was interesting for me. The opposite plays for me quite good the first two sets, then gets taken out because the pass, the serve reception is not good. They make the adjustment on the serve reception, and Bokan, she doesn't pass so much, and it leaves her free to hit, and they turn the game round. So it's a nice dynamic, and it solved the problem for the team to win the match. Okay, so this is something if you're taking pictures, is maybe of interest. Okay. Okay, so this is a paper from America, if I can. So it's to optimize your rotation. Okay, to help you win some more matches. Okay, I'll make sure you guys have this. Okay, the Americans like to produce these papers and explain how to tie your lace. I don't know, but so this is the important bit for me. Okay, the goals, key considerations for your lineup are often in conflict, which makes the optimization process difficult. Goals include, you want to try and expose your best passers to receive in every rotation. Okay, so the Montenegrin example is they take out the passer to try and balance things up and bring in an extra passing specialist, and it gives them more stability. So this is good. This is, again, probably more important in the men's game, perhaps, that you see that instead of the setter starting in 1 or 2, depending on serve or reception, now a lot of teams, they start with the best jump server, so they can put maximum pressure early. So sometimes, if we use the Russian example, the middle, Mazersky, thank you, he starts sometimes with the jump serve. A lot of teams, they start with the passer, the good jump serve to go, so it helps considerations around why we set up our rotations. We want to create the best options for attack early on. Okay, I used to play as opposite. I like to be in the front line to start with because it made me feel good before I had to hit the back court, as an example. But you may want to have your P1 and your setter getting some rhythm early on and have this attack. So, okay, and this is probably the most. You want to minimize the weak players, okay, so you can protect them for some time. It's good. Okay. So to expand on this, the person who writes this paper, he ranks the players and their abilities. So we have outside 1 is good, well, B pass, B hit, and so on. Setter has very weak block, so maybe we start to think double substitution, etc., to try and protect this. Paper from the FIVB where they offer solutions, option blocking to protect the small setter, the weak blocker. Okay, it's perhaps not very clear, but when you get this, this is some of the different rotations and some of the different ideas. So it's just to give you the information. As we talk about. Okay, I will show you. Okay, again, I will share this, but the person who writes this article, he gives the players different names. Okay, so you ace spiker, quick spiker setter, utility all-round player, but then you have a short setter without blocking, short receiver without blocking, and he draws up different ways, different formations to help demonstrate that you can protect these players. So we have basic, so these three here, you can see that they start to option block. So this is front post setter, but we have the blockers here. So for here covering tips, here getting ready to come through to set. Okay, we still have the defense. So we hopefully see that there's lots and lots of options and lots of ideas to be able to present a problem for the other team. Okay? As Ibrahim talked about earlier, there is no correct way. As long as you're within the rotation of the rules, then you can improvise and do what you like. Okay, well, Milos helps me. So we have some ideas, we have different things. Can some of you guys share your philosophy, your ideas, why you would go 5-1, 4-2, 6-2, some of your experience and why it works for you? This would be helpful to share.
One good way with the system 6-0 is that that everyone who come in zone 2 or zone 1 is the setter. So if you come to the zone 1, if I come to the zone 1, I'm a setter. And I have 3 options, middle or 2.
Yep.
And one forward, the Janko is zone 1, he is the setter. So it's 6-0.
So why is this good?
Always 3 attackers in front.
Okay, but for...
Everybody is doing everything.
Correct.
It's for the beginners.
Yes. So,
The same is from zone 6, maybe zone 6. I decide like a coach.
guys, let's try and listen, yeah?
I can decide or zone 5 is a setter. It's system 6-0, but it's everybody is doing everything.
Okay, I agree. For beginners, for young players, this is excellent because they learn all the skills. They have opportunity. Correct. Okay.
I think that here we have the people with a different level of knowledge. And I think because the level 1 is more for the beginners and how we will teach the kids and everything. And maybe we can just share our experiences, what we think was the best in which age to which system play with the kids. We start from this 1 versus 1 and then 4 versus 4 with increasing some complexity things. And my experience is, for example, that in cadet years, till 16, but this is the definitions of a youth teams are totally different in different countries. For example, in Germany, U20 is not under 20. This is something else. It's normal that in all over the world, U18 is the junior teams, but in Germany this is players with 16 years. Totally not. That's what. And I think that, for example, from 16 until 18, till 16 is better to play 4-2 system because in modern volleyball, I think the biggest problem is to find good enough setters for the future. That's one thing. My opinion is till 16 years 4-2 systems with the 2 setters, and then till the 18 years maybe easily go to 5-1 system. But maybe when the kids in Pioneer, this is till 14 years, maybe the best system is 3-3 in triangles, and this is good what the man from Slovenia he told, that it's very important that we learn the kids to all elements, because we cannot very good predict how high they will be in the end. But these things, what I said now, are a little bit against the things that in volleyball, in national team, specialization is working very big role.
Yep. Okay, so good points, good ideas. Again, it all comes to the same point from the paper, the American paper, and from the FIVB, is you have to make something that works for you. So the context in which you work is very important. There is a team in England, they are national champions, under 16 girls, every year, and they're all small. Very good ball control, no mistakes, and they don't even attack, they play the ball over and wait for the team to make the mistake. Okay, it works for them. As coaches, would probably be disgusted that there's no attack, but I played good defense, I play good reception, and I wait for you to make the mistake. Okay, it works for that team because they're all very small. Okay, so again, the context, the group you work with, if it is, okay, you have to make it work. If you have 5 setters and 1 attacker, then your 3-3 becomes very good, or 0-6 becomes very good. Okay. Is there any other ideas or comments?
This is good.
Okay. Good. Success.
Some problems with computer writing. I think we have a problem with computer.
The computer or the internet?
I have the connection on the mobile phone.
Okay. Can I use it for 3 minutes?
What?
Your phone is the...
Is the hotspot?
Yeah. No?
I try and
Okay. Right.
make a restart of computer. Then when you finish, it's better.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, if the YouTube video is buffered, maybe you can play it without internet, if it's buffered earlier.
I hope. It's a good idea.
Gospodine Stijeković, vi ćete zaduženi.
4-2, okay?
Za video.
There's going to be 2 setters, 4 hitters. And your setters are always going to be front row, okay? Which limits your offense.
Do we have
Limits
volume?
your offense ability because you're only going to have 2 hitters to hit the ball. However, if your team is just starting out and your team's not you know, understands the transition game, then you want to just start off very fundamentals and having your setter front set in the front row. Okay, so what I'm doing is getting them started. This is our setter. Okay, she's in the front row. She's just rotated the front row. This is our middle, and this is our outside hitter. And so the way that we want to set up our 4-2 to start is we have serve receive. And remember, so we want to go ahead and we want to stack left. So yeah, so she's got to move. So you can come off here. Okay, but we can't. You guys can't. Yep, you can't be in front of her. And so as soon as that ball is served, setter's got to be on the net first. Okay, setter's going to be on the net first. And as soon as that ball is served, you're going to go ahead and release on over and release to the middle. Now, one thing that we want to start with is actually come on back over to make it much more simpler. So all I'm going to do is have you're going to hit on the right and you're going to hit on the left. Okay, so stay there. So to begin with, it's much easier to go ahead and have your setter just release to the middle of the court. Go ahead, ball is served. You guys are passing. Boom. Yeah, there you go. And now our setter can set to the back or she can set to the front. Okay? A lot of times this is good because if the ball gets pushed all the way over to the side, a setter might not have the strength to push it over here, so she can go to the back. If the ball gets pushed over here, she can go over here. The other part of it too is if you set in the middle, you've got to be much more controlled and skilled. Location becomes much more important because the hitter's coming faster. So there's more room for error. But when you have a higher set, you have less. You've got no problem. There's less room. So you have an opportunity to take that ball, throw it high, and let them.
Okay, I don't know how well you hear it, so again, so she talks about how you can stack and how you can prepare, and her philosophy is that at beginner, you want to spread left and right rather than worry about the middle attacker. Okay, and she goes on to talk about how the setter can also play second ball if the option's there. Okay, so it's a simple basic. The Americans are very good for these sort of video clinics and small things. You can use them or not, but it's a simple thing that I wanted to show you. So this was 4-2. Okay, so, right. Hopefully, okay, we have some buffer on this, so that's okay. You have this one, Simon? No? Do you have this? No. Okay, so again, it talks about circulation for mini volley, and the guy that presents is Dutch. It's in English, so again I show a small bit, but again the volume won't be very good, so we don't spend too much time. But is this a Serbian name? Or?
This is more Montenegro. Đurić, or that? Montenegro.
Okay, so one of your own. So he's talking about the movement will teach you how to play. And it's mini volley 4. So this one is 3 versus 3. They talk about, so this was, they have 3 people in the back, they have no block. So everyone's a defender, okay? You can do this with 2 blocker, 1 defender. You can do it 1 blocker, 2 defenders. So this was just another very simple idea. Okay. Okay, this was the 6-3 or the 3-3. So we see that we have 3 setters. And the good thing about this slide is that it shows the reception, the way you can line up as well. Okay, so good lineups, good options. I shared all this with you so you have some idea. I don't. Okay, so in the absence of my videos, this is short. Okay, so the fundamental things, the sort of conclusions of this is, for me, the context in which you operate, okay? Are we going back to absolute beginners where it's 1 versus 1? Okay, do we have some progression where they can manage the decision making and the specialization to maybe do 3v3, 4v4? Are they advanced enough to maybe think about the 6 versus 6 rotation? So the context becomes important. Then, based on the papers I show from the FIVB and the Americans, what are the best ways to protect your weak players and get the most out of your good players? Okay, so this is some considerations that you need to think about. And then the layer beyond that, I guess, is what are the interactions and the team dynamic like between those players so that you can get the best. We have a phrase, if your best player makes the team worse because of their attitude, then you take them off and bring in a weaker player. Okay, I could give you some percentages, but I can't remember the statistic. But you want to have the good team dynamic rather than just the one good player, because they can harm the other people on the team. Okay, so there's lots of options, lots of things for you to think about, but ultimately you have, like Ibrahim talks about this morning, you have to decide what's best for you and get the most out of your team. Do we have any more questions or comments? Okay, what I will do is I will share the video links and the papers with you so that you have that as a resource. You can, if you read them, watch them, and you have some questions, then of course we can discuss them. Okay, I'm sorry the internet stops, but perhaps after 2.5 hours you're happy. So we have some time. We have some time now. Break. We leave at 1:15 to be at the gym for 1:30. Okay, I take the session on serve and serve reception, and it again will be like yesterday, a sort of progressive practice, and hopefully you get some ideas. Again, I will share the lesson plan with you for reference. Okay, thank you.